When it comes to real estate in Canada, unfortunately, there's a lot of scams happening. And if you're renting for the first time in this country, especially from abroad, and you just rely on the internet, it can be really dangerous. But I think I have a solution for you that you probably haven't heard about yet. I've partnered with liv.rent, the only platform in Canada that offers verified listings, makes the process seamless and automated. It's the perfect solution for first-time renters in Canada, especially if you're coming from abroad. Here's why. To make things easier, I decided to pretend like I'm an international student moving to Toronto in May, and I'm looking for a permanent place to stay for me. Let's go on Google and do the actual tutorial. I hope you have some water and we're ready to dive in. You're going to type in liv.rent. You want to make sure it's the correct website and then click on it. And then you're brought to the homepage of liv.rent, which is fantastic. It gives you a lot of info for both renters and landlords. You can go through it, but I really want you to create a profile, as if you have a profile, it brings a lot of benefits that we'll discuss later. Just want to click on sign up in the top right corner, sign up for a renter account. And then you can either do the email address, which I'll show you how to do in a second, or you can do one of the social signups, either through Facebook, Apple ID, or Google, which is super easy and fast. So for this one, I'm just gonna use a fake email. You're going to enter your legal name, create a password that's secure. You hit create an account and you're good to go. You would need to go into your email and confirm the profile. Now we're going to take an essential step. We're going to verify our profile. We need to introduce ourselves so that landlords are more likely to trust us. liv.rent is all about trust. That's why I recommend this platform for first-time renters in Canada. So you would just simply add a profile picture that's you, real you. I highly recommend this. So I just found a photo of me that's clear and that really represents who I am and what I do. So landlords are more likely to trust me. I'm going to select my profession. I'm going to say I'm a student. And now approximate annual income. For this field, you'd want to input your parents' income if they're sponsoring you, or if you're sponsoring yourself, just input whatever you made back home. So I'm just going to put in 60 to 79,000 and save. Now let's follow the next steps. So for me to get verified, I would need to input some basic info. As you can tell in the top right corner, it has my badge here and it tells me that I'm 31% there on the verification path, but I want to complete it. So I'm going to verify now. Going to add a Canadian phone number. So now that you've provided your phone number, you're going to scroll down and verify your ID. For this one, I'm going to use my passport. Please don't use a foreign driver's license, only if you have a Canadian one, which most likely you don't. So passport, get started. I'm going to choose file. Just for the sake of this video, I'm going to use a mock-up template. So use a real document, but I'm just going to upload this. And then you're going to actually take a selfie. So you're going to take a photo for them to verify that you're a real person so they can match it with the passport ID. Okay, just like this. Capture photo and then upload, and then you're going to verify photos. So then your profile will get verified. There's some important things that you need to know about. So now your profile is being verified, but also we have only 41% completed. So basic information, let's start. Your birthday, you're going to add that. Then you're going to add your phone number, which I have here, your email address. After you've provided basic information, you're going to scroll down, add the languages you speak. For example, let's say I speak Spanish, I'm going to add that, but also I speak English. I'm going to add that, right? Then you're going to enter your current address in your home country. So let's say I live in Germany, your address. So it can be 5 Rogers Square or Q, whatever. And then unit number, if you have that, let's say it's 7. City would be whatever city you live in. So let's say Hamburg. And then you're going to add the province or state in Germany. So I'm just going to say Hamburg again. And then the postal code. So let's say it's whatever a postal code can be. Now that I've entered my address, I'm going to enter my story, which is super important, especially if you're coming from abroad. This is your opportunity to speak about yourself. to sell yourself because it's not that easy to rent in Canada. They are really picky due to a high demand. So in this one, I just said, hi, I'm Max, currently moving to Canada from Germany. I am single, clean, and respectful. My professional background is in financial marketing, looking to expand my network and career opportunities. Be truthful about it, but also think about the most important aspects that would make you a good candidate. Then you're going to hit save. So my profile is 50% complete. Let's continue this so that we can get verified. I've entered the basic info. I do not have pets. For emergency contact, I recommend to enter somebody in Canada, but you can also probably go with somebody from abroad who can really pick up the phone. There's a need for that. I've just added my emergency contact here. And now we're getting into the most interesting one, which is trust score. This section is really important to help landlords understand your financial standing. So for this one, I'm just going to say I don't have a credit history in Canada. If you're coming from abroad, you don't have this most likely. But if you're renting from within Canada, you would just enter your credits history in Canada and here. But I'm just going to tick this one. And then I'm going to scroll all the way down and start adding my financial details. It's super important to have this part done right. So for this one, I'm going to say I'm a student. Remember, moving from Germany to Toronto. What school I'm going to say University of Toronto. What I'm studying, I would say marketing. And then what year I'm starting is 2022. So what year did you start? You can just enter the real, of course, information. They will verify everything. Do you work on the site? Not yet. I'm just gonna say no. For the enrollment verification, you're going to actually provide your proof of enrollment, such as your letter of acceptance. I'm gonna select that school ID or enrollment letter. So you're going to upload the real one. I just have a template for this one, which is right here, save. It's important to note that all of the documents that are not in English have to be translated. So if I scroll all the way down, let's say that my parents are sponsoring me. Let's say that this is their approximate annual income. I'm going to go through a selection of different financial documents I can use to verify. T4 is something Canadian. It's a tax document. You can also select tax slips or pay slips, or you can do student loans, bank statements, job offer letter, various ways to prove this. But for this example, I'm just gonna select bank statement. And you need to know that you can always merge multiple financial documents. This could increase your success rate. So I'm going to hit upload. And it's important that you have everything Canadian dollar, that you have all of the currency converted. You can just have it on a separate sheet in that PDF that you can merge, right? Or you can have it there, right, on the file. And then I'm going to upload, let's say, my bank statement. There's also a great tool to help you convert the currency according to the time frame that the transactions were in. So let's say that back in 2020, my country's currency was valued at this much. Now it's lower, but I can use the Canadian Bank's national converter that's going to be linked in the description below to convert to that time frame. And then I'm going to see that it's uploaded. I'm going to save. And we're almost done with this verification process. We just need to add a couple of more details. See, it's 90% complete. The only thing that's left is our references. So I'm going to hit references. Of course, if you have employment references, it's great to add it. But if you're a student, if you haven't worked, it's fine. You're just going to say, I'm a first-time renter if you haven't rented before. But if you have, it's great to add landlord references, and it acts as an extra security point for your potential landlord in Canada. Going to hit, I haven't rented before, and now my profile is 100% completed. So what happens next is it signals to liv.rent that this profile has to be verified. They check all of those documents you've submitted, and it takes about 24 hours, and then you're good to go. You can apply. But let's say that I've already been verified, and let's see how the process looks for apartment hunting. So once you get verified, your profile will look something like this. It will have this blue check mark next to it, which is super important, again, for safety reasons. I'm going to hit search. And then I can start searching. So for that, I would need to, of course, to have my budget and the location where I want to live and other factors. But liv.rent makes this super easy with their filtering tool. Now that I have all of those aspects figured out, I'm going to search, and liv.rent made it super easy because I can search not just by the city or town, but also by the building or property manager. So I'm going to hit search. Let's say I'm going to Toronto. I'm going to use their amazing filter. For the filter, I want to show you the most important things. Of course, you can choose your housing type, whatever you prefer, condo, let's say, but also, of course, the budget is an important aspect. So let's say I want something within $1,500. I'm going to select how many bedrooms I need and bathrooms as well. But also for me, that's not that important. What really is important to me is that the place is verified, that the listing was verified by liv.rent. There's two types of verification. There's a blue badge that means that the ID of the user was verified, and that means that liv.rent matched their government issued ID. And this means that liv.rent requested and verified the person's government issued ID or business license. The peach one means that the rental listing is listing verified. This means that the platform verified that this property indeed belongs to this user or is being managed by this user. They do it by checking legal documents like land title, documents, and mailing matching. So I'm gonna switch on this toggle and then I'm going to see the results. So as you can tell, there's a lot of options actually within $1,500 for Toronto, and that's pretty good. So I'm only going to pay attention to these verified listings. So I know I can go for these options, they're safe. I'm really happy I found listings that are within my budget that I like, but if they're not, let's say you want something for less, you can create a filter alert. So it's basically, let's say I name it under $1,500. So you can check the alert criteria up here, and liv.rent will notify you whenever there's new listings that match your criteria. I'm going to create alert and it's done. But for this one, let's say I want to go for this option for just $1,200 and look at the place. It's really nice. I'm going to check the photos. I'm going to see if I like it. And once I do, I'm going to also check other criteria, other factors which are important to me. So you can check the lease details when the move-in date, actually it's for May 1st, which is great. The lease type, it's month to month because there's also a year contracts. But as you can tell, the minimum lease is for 1 year. Now I'm going to check this property, what it offers, what features are included, what amenities there are, right? And also what utilities are included. Typically in Canada, heat and water would be included. You just pay for electricity. Also, liv.rent made it super easy for me to check the location and see what transit options there are. So as you can tell, this place is in the middle of Toronto. Like there's a lot of transit options for me. There is the subway, there is also other bus lines and so on and so forth. So it's actually within 15 minutes walking distance to bus number 19, which is amazing because I don't need to search for it manually. liv.rent just tells me everything here. Smoking is allowed, pets allowed. Typically pets are not allowed, I think, but this one you can check the building where it's at and all of that stuff. So it makes it super easy for you to apply. Now when it comes to the application, as you can tell, if you scroll up here, you see that this person is verified, right? So I know I can trust liv.rent when they match the government IDs, and I can apply. So for application, there's two options. You can either first talk to them through a secure encrypted chat, and you can ask them different questions about these listings if you need something clarified, or you can also apply right away. And I highly recommend that you do this one, apply now, because it just shows to the landlord you're serious about it. And the real estate market in Canada, especially in cities like Toronto, Vancouver, Halifax, is really competitive. So I would strongly advise you apply. Next, you're brought to the tenancy application. So you can check your basic information again and then hit send application. Once you hit this button, you can then see that everything has been automatically done for you. Another big factor why liv.rent is so major in real estate is that liv.rent truly offers an automated way to deal with landlords and for landlords to deal with tenants. So you don't need to do anything manually. This application is sent. The landlord will be able to view the application on their end and either accept it, approve it, or decline it. On the landlord's end, it's going to look something like this. They have their listing, and then they can also see who applied over here. So as you can tell, I've filed my application, I sent it, so they can view it, and then they can basically create contract if they like who I am. When they create the contract, liv.rent made everything super easy in just 3 steps, basically 3 clicks. They would just add who's signing it, if there is anybody else on the tenancy agreement, and then it gets auto-generated. Now the last step is the tenancy agreement. The landlord goes through it and then just clicks next, and then they can preview the agreement. After the agreement is previewed, they can continue and go through the legal aspects of it. And after they've gone through the whole entire complexity of this legal document, they can agree to it and hit send. Let's pretend that I went and saw the unit, I liked it, and then I decided to go with the contract, move forward with it. So I'm just gonna click on the contract, check it, make sure everything is done well. And I like everything. Again, scroll all the way down, go through these important legal terms. It's really good to proofread everything and check if everything works for you. And then I'm just going to say I agree with liv.rent's terms and conditions. And then I can just tap to sign. It's super easy. You can just do any kind of signature that's, of course, yours and legal. And you can then complete signing. So now the agreement between you and the landlord is signed. So you can scroll all the way down and see that you're just awaiting for the landlord's signature. It's also important to note that liv.rent allows you to withdraw your application if, let's say, you decided not to go forward with it. So I sent my application, they decided to accept it, and then something happened, came up, I can withdraw. That's amazing, and it's done with one click. Another great feature I want to mention is that their chat actually allows you to translate. So if you're speaking in your own language, you feel more comfortable in it, you can type in, let's say, Spanish, and then the landlord can translate it by liv.rent automatically within the same chat into their native English language. Also, if, for example, you see that the tenant or the landlord is not user verified, the app will urge you to proceed with caution because it might not be safe. So I really highly recommend that you check for these blue badges. That means that the ID is verified of the user. Another great feature is that in terms of after the landlord has signed their end of the agreement, then you can move in and make the payment. And the payment is actually made securely on liv.rent's platform. They accept credit, Visa, MasterCard, Amex, Union Pay, that's really popular in China, and even Bitcoin. They even have pre-authorized debit coming soon. And once you submit the payment, you get the keys. Let me share a personal story. When I first came to Canada, I had to get a hotel room, spend a lot of money for me to just be able to see permanent options for my new home in Canada. And unfortunately, I got to know a lot of people that got scammed over the internet. They rented from abroad and it wasn't real. And now I'm so happy that finally there is a platform on the internet that's real, that offers real verified listings, that's safe and that's easy to use, that makes the process automated. liv.rent is fantastic. If you're interested, click on the link in the description, create a free profile with them, verify it. We talked about the importance of verification, and start building your new chapter in Canada and make it successful with liv.rent. If you have any questions to us, we'll be happy to answer all of them in the comments down below, and I will see you in the new video.